Hey fam, just a quick heads up. It's been at least 500 miles since I've degreased the EGR, and by the time you guys see this video, it's going to be even more. It's going to be at least 1,000 miles, and I'm telling you right now, that light hasn't been on since. It's been weeks, and you know, since the light used to come on like almost every week once I reset it, I've been nervous trying to figure out if it's going to come on, and it hasn't. So degreasing the EGR, like you're going to see in this video, really helped that situation. I'm not saying that it's going to work for everything, but that right there, that's an easy fix to a very expensive problem that can come about where you're going to get pretty much raped by a dealership. So enjoy the show.
What's happening, fam? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's doing well. It's about 35 degrees right now, but the work has to go on today. I'm working on my boy Abomination. It's a 2021 Ram 2500. Today, I am going to be working on the EGR system. From the last video, I'll put a link up. I changed the CCV filter under here. Ever since I've changed it, I've noticed there's been no moisture or oil settling anywhere on top of this cover. It needed to be changed so badly. And as I mentioned to you guys in that video the last time, Ram charges you almost $180 for the actual filter, and if they had to install it, it'll cost you at least $100 more in labor, at least. And I ain't with that, you know what I mean? For something so simple, that filter literally cost me $30, and it took me about 10 minutes. So today I'm going to be messing around with the EGR, and you're wondering why I'm doing that. So I got a code a couple weeks ago. It's a P0402, exhaust gas recirculation flow excessive detected. And you know, you start looking around on the forums and stuff like that, you start seeing like, I wonder what can cause that. Like, how could this truck, a truck with only this truck just hit 37,000 miles, how can, you know, it could be getting these codes? And there's a reason. So the EGR system is made up of many parts. There's the EGR system right here, there's the lines, there's the cooler, that's the cooler back there, which is a pain in the ass to change if something was to go wrong. And the EGR system, it takes exhaust gas from the exhaust manifold, okay, and reintroduces it back into the intake of the engine to reduce combustion chamber temperature. And pretty much modern diesel trucks, they have it because they want to reduce the formation of NOx emissions, which are created when the combustion chamber gets super hot, like over 2,300 degrees or whatever the case might be. So pumping exhaust back into the engine helps to cool the combustion chamber, okay? But now the EGR system, it's that closed system, has no oxygen in it. So what ends up happening is, as a byproduct of trying to reduce emissions, they create a lot of soot in the EGR system itself, okay? That soot will come up the EGR cooler, intake ports, sensors that are exposed to it. It's freaking, it sucks. That's why most guys, when they have these trucks, they freaking do an EGR delete. Yes, it is illegal, but as soon as they freaking delete the EGR system, they're noticing the truck runs better, it's not sluggish, the fuel efficiency goes up. It's freaking crazy, you know what I mean? But anyway, so today, this is what I'm gonna be messing with. First thing we gotta do is take this cover off. It's 4 8mm bolts, 1, 2, 3, and 4 over here. You're gonna need, so that you're gonna need an 8mm socket. You need an 11mm socket for this nut right here to loosen this clamp. And we're gonna use a 10mm socket. There are 4 bolts to actually take the EGR actually off. And also, what I already did, I ordered ahead. The only things that you're really gonna need, these gaskets right here. This is one for that metal pipeline that connects to the EGR system. This is a round gasket for Mopar. And you're gonna need these two as well. The gaskets, I'll list the part numbers up in the description and to the top. It'll cost you around, I got it, it'll cost you around $53 or something shipped. Okay, it's crazy how much these gaskets cost. It's nuts. I don't understand. And what you're gonna need is degreaser. When you take this, it's a cool, funny story. When you actually take this to the dealership, and for this code, let's say they had to work and clean out your EGR, they might say they replace it. They ain't replacing shit. What they're doing is they degreasing it. That's what they recommend. They degrease the soot from the EGR valves. So that degreaser that you saw, that Miracle GP66, that up there, that spout up there, that's from my pellet stove. And let me tell you, that wall last year was freaking black. I just took a shot in the dark and I ordered the spray version of it, and that thing worked fantastically to take soot off. So depending on the type of pellets I burn, it can create a lot of ash and soot, or it can burn a lot cleaner. So it all depends on, you know, where you get your pellets from, but I digress. What I'm trying to say is this shit is really, really good. So I have that. So I have my tools right here. I got some brake cleaner. And what we're gonna do, once we take it out, we're gonna let it soak for a couple hours. So once I let it soak, I'm gonna head to the gym, let that soak in the meantime while I go to the gym. And then once I come back, reinstall it, it should be rid of that problem. Now, if that light does keep popping up, there might be, you know what I'm saying, something more substantial going on. So now we're gonna have to obviously troubleshoot that. All right. All right, guys. So just got it out. Doesn't take that long to take out. Took me, I would say, 3 to 5 minutes. Not a big deal. Just, you know, obviously you got to take your time. But there's a fair buildup of soot in here. There's a fair amount, especially like in here. There's definite amounts of soot buildup in there, like where the actuator is and stuff like that. Especially over here as well. In here, what I got to do now is, the gasket actually looks pretty good on this, but what I'll do is I'm gonna still I gotta scrape off this old gasket, put the new one on there. There's also a gasket that goes, see this, see right here, you gotta make sure you scrape that gasket off, take it off properly. And by the way, there's one sensor that attaches to this. If you notice, I don't know if you could see it, there is a red lock. You just gotta unlock it, press the clip, and then you could pull it apart. On these diesels, there's a lot of those freaking little red locks on the harnesses. Okay, so let's get it. All right, guys, I took off the old gasket off of the EGR valve. Okay, so this gasket here remained on the valve. The other two are on the body. And I just literally put this down on the cardboard and I just tapped it. And like, that's the soot that's falling out of it right there. And some of it fell off over there across the way as well. But I actually got to show you, just by just putting this down, how much soot was just falling out of it. So all that stuff in there can harden and clog things up, you know what I'm saying? So, food for thought. All right, guys, see this surface compared to this one? Because there's still some solvent and stuff left over from the gasket. This is what's gonna help you. You take the finest grit sandpaper you can get. Once you clear most of the stuff off, just spray brake parts cleaner right on the sandpaper itself. Let me show you.
just a little bit, nothing crazy. Just spray it right there, and just go over the surface, and it'll literally, it's not, remember, it's a fine grit sandpaper, so it's not abrasive, and you would not believe how good it'll clean up all the gum from the rest of the surface. So see this side, and look, this side is getting better already. Very, very fast, because those little sticky residues, they can cause whatever you're doing not to seal properly. The purpose of the gasket is to seal both surfaces, so you don't have an issue, you don't have a leak, and this will help you out a lot. Also, right now I have the part soaking. Now, also what I did, you should have seen it on the time lapse. I have I used my vacuum when I was peeling off the gasket. All I needed was a flathead screwdriver, slightly tap under it, and it lifted up easily. Yeah, look how nice that is. Clean. No residue whatsoever on the surface, and we're good with that. Let's go over here real quick. Let me just show you this. So these are the old gaskets right here. Show you. And I poured the greaser in here, and I have it leaned up against the wall. It's literally been 10 minutes and this thing is foaming like crazy. So I poured some in here, here, and here. Okay? All right, guys. So while this is soaking, see how it's foaming up over here? While that's soaking, also make sure not to get the electrical portion wet with anything, please. Quick story time. There's a gentleman on YouTube. He went to the dealership for an oil change. He has same year truck as me, Cummins diesel, and he went to get an oil change, and from the oil change, he was asking questions, and they gave him like I guess a layout of a bill of what it would cost to get certain services done. And the CCV filter, along with the EGR cleaning, it would have cost him $1,900. $1,900. And the CCV filter, they were charging him $300, and I think, I don't know how much in labor. And then the EGR clean, they're not replacing, as I said, they don't replace the EGR. All they do is degrease it. But $1,900 for both of those services? Nah. You guys are better off doing this shit yourself. So I'm about to head to the gym. I'm leaving this right here. Let it clean out. And guys, don't forget, you know, if you can, I use my vacuum while you're peeling off the gasket and cleaning everything. Make sure you're sucking at the same time, so to prevent anything from going into the intake down in those ports. You don't want anything going down in there, okay? So just be aware of that. So I'll see you in a couple hours. All right, guys, so it's only been an hour, but this GP66 cleaner, it's very, very, very concentrated, so you don't need to leave it for like 3 hours, because look, that thing, like, it's pretty clean in there now. Pretty damn clean in here. I was like, whoa. And what I did was, I have my pet dryer upstairs. I just took it upstairs and I blew all the freaking whatever sediments or whatever it had in there, just anything, it just blew it all out, blew out the water. So this is totally dry and ready to reinstall. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the gaskets, put it on there, and reinstall it. All right, guys, so some tips. You can lay the pair of gaskets down on here, rest the EGR on top of it, slide the bolts in, thread it, but you don't necessarily have to tighten it. Now, what I would tell you to do is the round gasket that goes in between here, between the EGR and this pipe, okay? Make sure you put that in first. It's actually, it's shaped
a certain way where you can't mess it up. It's slightly bent to the flange. It's like flanged meeting this portion of the EGR right here. So you can't screw it up. Make sure you put that in before you tighten this down. Okay? Now, this portion right here, obviously once you start loosening this portion can, you know, I mean, you could squeeze it or open it up to take it out. So pretty much for me to put it back in, I literally just went like this and put it back on. Now I could squeeze it. Okay, let me show you. You could squeeze it and just slide the lock back on there and just tighten it down. So I could actually leave this portion right up here like this, so it's actually easier to get. Look, I'm threading it with my hand. This would be a really good time, guys, to put some WD-40 or anything else on here, just for lubricity purposes. And once you know where everything is going, all the gaskets are like, you have everything where they should be, this would be a good time. Now you tighten everything down, and that's really it. Okay, all right guys, the entire thing is buttoned back up. That's really it. You know what I mean? It's not like some type of monumental crazy, you know, installation. It's literally 5 bolts. Just make sure you guys are seating the gaskets correctly. Now I'm going to start this bad boy up, let it run, and I will update you guys in the future, near future hopefully, about if the light comes back on or not. As I said, this, you know, I mean, these things can come in many forms. It can be that where the valve is getting stuck open. It can be EGR cooler. Like, so many things can happen when this soot starts clogging things up. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, guys, definitely like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. As I said before, I didn't have to have that EGR soak. I did not have to have it soaked for 2 to 3 hours. The GP66 concentrate that I use, it is very, very, very strong. Very strong. So, like, I'm supposed to be diluting like a cap or 2 caps full in like a gallon of water, like degreasing things. It's very, very strong. So anyway, guys, I will talk to you guys soon, and as I said, I will update you guys on any type of error codes in the future. And as you can see right here, nothing is on my dash. Everything is installed the right way, because this truck would have went freaking ballistic already and started throwing codes. Okay, so I will talk to you guys soon. Take it easy.